Good evening, Riveters, and welcome to another edition of Rivet City's Rivet Flash. I am your host, Tritus. With me is Wolfpaw, Red, and Didact.
I am the hype!
It is the hype. I have to add that command to my Nightbot, so if
Yes,
you
you
go bang hype, it says Didact is the hype.
Damn straight.
That'll work. That'll work. Like it. Oh, this has been a very interesting week, an eventful week. A lot of stuff going on.
Yeah.
So, without further ado, I'm just going to go ahead and go down the line of people I see in my chat. We'll go with Wolfpaw. So let's do it. What do you got?
I have it's an earpiece that actually translates foreign languages in real time.
Oh.
It's based off the idea of the Babel Fish from Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Right now, it's in beta testing, and it can do 4 languages: English, French, Spanish, and Italian.
Very cool. So, would you have to be a current English speaker? I mean, so I guess if somebody's speaking another language to me, like, do I have to be a current English speaker to understand it, or like, do you know how that works?
From what I gleaned out of the article, I think it's whatever you set as the base language is what it translated to in your ear.
And it's one of those 4, right?
It's one of those 4 right now. And they're
Interesting.
trying to add more languages as they go.
Right.
But I think they did those 3 plus English as the base because those 3 are so similar.
Right.
And then they're trying to expand it. But right now, for that model, they'll be releasing it in September for $130.
That's a cool idea.
You think
Yeah.
what I'm thinking, Bergie?
What?
Thinking what I'm
What?
thinking?
Um.
Releasing in September.
Well, I was just thinking steak. I'm hungry. Generally.
Well,
No,
yeah.
I hear exactly what you mean. A pair of those things to test out in a foreign country that we just may be going to. A pair of foreign countries. Maybe a trio of foreign countries. Maybe we'll just say piss on it and just take a train.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
The
but
cat's out of the bag.
I
Anyway.
do have that website linked to you for more information. That's just what I've gleaned off of what I've read so far.
Yeah, that is just rad. I love that. We'll put that in the show notes. That's a cool idea. It's gonna help bridge the gap in a lot of places.
And I always thought the idea of the Babel Fish was a really cool idea from Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, and I'm like, why doesn't that thing exist? And here, we're starting it.
Yeah, that was like probably one of the greatest invention ideas that came out of that, right? That and like Doctor Who's Universal Translator or Star Trek.
Yeah.
Yep.
Or the towel.
Farscape, the translator microbes.
Ah, that's right.
Farscape, right?
That's right. Love it. Okay, dig. Anything else?
I've got my stream after this.
You do have your stream after this. What time and what are you streaming?
It's at 7 p.m. and I will be streaming Hatofo Boyfriend.
Yes.
Mike Tyson Simulator 2011.
Oh my.
Mike Tyson Hobby Simulator 2011.
Oh. That'll
Yeah.
be interesting.
So it was originally released in Japan. It finally got released in America, what was it, last year? I've only seen memes of this video game. Memes and heard rumors of it. So this will be a lot of fun.
I'm in. That sounds interesting. I'll watch. I'll be there. I'll be there. Love it.
This
Cool.
is gonna be awesome.
Yeah. All right. Red.
Yes. So, start with my favorite of the 3 that I've got today.
Going in deep.
There is now a 3D printer that prints metal structures in midair using fucking lasers.
Oh.
Oh, is that
Yeah.
the one that did the bridge in, like, Belgium or whatever it was?
Not that I'm aware of, at least not that my article mentioned. This one's a little more theoretical and development kind of thing. The videos that they show you, it's making more artistic things, right? Like these beautiful little perfectly symmetrical butterflies and other stuff. But what they really hope to use it for is more advanced component making. It's
Interesting.
yeah,
So-
the laser has to be very precise as far as not just, when we think of laser precision, we think lasers go in a straight line, and so they, and they're always uniform in size and yada, yada, yada. But the cool part here is the temperature control, because the material it uses, if it's at too hot of a temperature, it will melt the printer. And if it's at too low of a temperature, it'll solidify and wreck the printer. And of course, if it's not the term they use is annealed properly, which is a metalworking term, it also doesn't keep its form that it's trying to make. So I guess the heat part of it sounds like the most difficult part of it, from what I understand.
Okay.
And because it's done in midair, it allows it to do more versatile things, because most 3D printers right now, they operate in layers, right? So you have to start from something that can sit on a flat surface and then work your way up from there. And so you run into issues if you're making things that aren't going to balance very well.
Gotcha. That's a cool idea. I like that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of rad.
Yeah, what they didn't seem to show in the video that I watched was how it finishes. Because, it's basically, the material's very light, and then it's working on, it's kind of sort of attached to the extruder. But when the project's done, one would assume that's going to clip, and, it's not like they've eliminated gravity or anything, so...
Right.
Printing in a vacuum.
Yeah, they're very excited about it, and I'm very excited about it, too. Every advancement in 3D printing, we're one step closer to the replicator.
Right, yeah, and I'm just...
Please, God, no.
Please, God, yes.
Replicants. Oh God, replicants.
Okay, let's not go into some of the other fandoms when it comes to replicators. Let's just Star Trek, make food, tea.
Yes.
That's it.
Earl Grey.
And then we lose the planet. God damn it.
No gray goo. No gray. Just.
No little spider drones that walk around and try to murder you.
Right. No human form replicators, or just Earl Grey, hot.
What was her name? Joyce, Lois? No, Lucy, the human form replicator that was really nice, but then wasn't really nice.
Oh, the original one, you mean?
The original one.
Oh,
yeah,
the
that they found on the planet.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the one who actually ended up building all of them, or the rest of them. Yeah.
She was so lonely.
Yeah. It's like. Anyway, yes, no, but the implications of something like that, plus the ability to scale, right? Can you imagine? Can you imagine 3D printed buildings? Can you imagine one day that you're driving down the street and it's not even construction anymore? It's just, and then you have an apartment building, right?
Yeah, they still build the crane towers, but the towers
just
3D printer.
Goes straight up.
Yeah.
Right. The implications for that kind of technology are just all over the place, and that's what I'm excited about.
Yeah, I've seen some of our modern 3D printers, because I did see a guy that 3D cement printed a castle.
Like a mini one?
No, a full
like a freaking 2-scale castle.
In his backyard. It was probably
like a playhouse size castle.
Yeah. Playhouse size.
Okay.
But just thinking, that was just cement with a standard printout layer thing, just with this.
That's cool.
Yeah, and then now with this new stuff, just bigger and better.
Man, our kids aren't even going to build tree houses anymore. They're just going to 3D print them and put them in the tree, and then they're going to realize there's no tree.
No,
yeah, there's going to be no tree in the background, so they're going to 3D print the tree.
It's there are no trees back here. Not that you can use.
Not yet. That's awesome. Cool. All right, what else you got?
Well, I've been trying to teach myself some more about cryptocurrency. I haven't really gone that far into it because everything about it seems to change every couple of months. I'd been flirting with buying or making a Bitcoin miner, and now that's kind of becoming not a very productive use of anyone's time or resources.
Yeah, maybe 3 or 4 years ago, but...
Yeah, but it's still great because conceptually cryptocurrency is awesome because it's an anonymous form of payment that's not regulated by any of the world governments, and it's a true free market system where supply and demand rule. And there's been an advancement now. There's a company called Blockchain that just open sourced their. They designed a Bitcoin wallet intended to make Bitcoin payments instant. Like right now, if you have to pay someone in Bitcoin, it takes the Bitcoin system hours or more to process the transaction, right? Mm-hmm. So I have 5 Bitcoins. I pay Tritus 1, Wolfpaw 2, and Didact 3, and that didn't add up to 5. But anyway.
He's paying imaginary Bitcoins out of imaginary Bitcoins.
Yes.
The math does not matter.
I was doing Federal Reserve math.
I see what you did there.
Yeah, see? But anyway, each of those payments would take a while for the entire system to update and recognize it. And so that kind of slows down commerce in the Bitcoin era. But this blockchain wallet, from what I'm reading, kind of functions in the way that PayPal does, where it's, you point PayPal at your checking account, you pay someone, they get their money right away, and then PayPal does the ACH transaction to your bank account, and like the next day it shows coming out like you wrote a check. And they're just kind of putting themselves in front of that and taking the hit for you. I was trying to figure out as I was reading the article, like, well, there's got to be some kind of vulnerability in just assuming the transaction's going to go through. Mm-hmm. But they didn't really go into depth on that. They were just really excited that, hey, now Bitcoin transactions will be instant. So if you're using blockchain, and now that it's open source, a lot more people will be, Bitcoin transactions are instant, and that's just any advancement cryptocurrency makes to function just like or better than paper currency is great news, I think.
Absolutely. Oh, I'm really interested how that can turn out. I'm, just the idea of how Bitcoin started out. I mean, the implications on how it can affect the economy long term. If I don't want to say the word allowed to flourish, but if it became more socially acceptable, I guess.
I wouldn't even call it socially acceptable. I would just call it accepted.
Yeah.
A lot of, you could have a ton of Bitcoin, and right now it's the dollar value, quote unquote, of the Bitcoin. The exchange rate's really high still.
Isn't it like $200?
Fluctuates wildly, but
I think it averages on $200 or something like that per Bitcoin.
Yeah. There's just not a lot of ways you can easily spend it.
Right. Did you ever watch the show Almost Human?
I think I've caught one episode.
Okay. Well, anyway, it was in the future. It was starring Carl Urban and gosh, I can't ever figure out how to pronounce that guy's name. Chiwetel Ejiofor. I don't know. That's what it looks like. I'm butchering the crap out of it.
Was
anyway,
that the cop one with the
it was the cop one.
AI and the
the one dude was an android and Carl Urban was like half machine at that point because he had like a robot leg and some other enhancements. So anyway,
so basically iRobot.
Yeah, kinda. It was kind of that. It was like imagine iRobot except they made a show. They made a TV show. It was like a buddy cop like kind of iRobot situation, which was a lot of fun actually. But and then of course Fox canceled it because Fox. But anyway.
Wait, this will be popular? Cancel it.
Yes, destroy. People like this. Must destroy.
No one on this call is bitter about Firefly at all.
No. Hey, Nathan Fillion doesn't have anything to do right now. Him and Whedon should get together.
Yeah, since anyway. Nathan Fillion got canceled on his Castle show.
Yeah, that was a giant cluster. Anyway, the point of this story is that in that show, this is 30 or 40 years in the future, Bitcoin was the normal currency. Like that was it. They said it several times in the show. Like they would go around. It was interesting. They didn't even have credit cards. They had like little flash drive looking things that they would just plug into things and then transfer currency to each other.
I hope they want USB because at some point I just want USB to go away.
It appeared like that was the case, but it wasn't. I mean, it was probably the props department like taking a random flash drive and like shaving it down a little bit and adding a couple LEDs and making it look cool.
Yeah.
Much like how the lightsaber was, and of course I'm going to butcher this too, but I think the original lightsaber was a piece of the some of the cameras on set. Like they just cannibalized a camera, and then took one of the tubes out and did a couple things with it, and voila, there's your lightsaber.
Noise.
Yep. It'll be magic, folks. Cool. What else you got?
Well, and lastly, Chrome OS, Google's other operating system, will soon have full support for Android applications. So if you have a Chromebook, you can run. You'll be able to run Android apps soon. They're releasing in, I think, June. Just looking through the article right now. Yes, June. So it hits the dev channel in June. It's going to hit normal release in the fall. And so that's pretty awesome for anyone that's big into Google stuff. I know at our old job we were issued Chromebooks. You and I both have an original CR48. Do we not? Or no? Did you never get one?
I do not. I never got one.
I have an original CR48, and actually Nick has it somewhere in the basement. But
good luck.
Yeah. Chromebooks are really awesome as they are, just as Chrome. So there's so much functionality right in the Chrome browser. And I'm hoping that Run Android Apps in Chrome OS also translates to Run Android Apps in Chrome. And it probably will. They don't say that in the article, but Google's pretty good about Chrome OS is kind of Chrome. I mean, Chrome's a 60 meg download now.
Yeah.
But it's really a great step in the direction of all your devices will be united. Microsoft's kind of playing that game. Ubuntu's been trying to play that game. One day I may spend the money and get an Ubuntu phone because they have a mobile OS too. Apple's, of course, been doing it for years. OS X, iOS, or...
Right.
Yeah, so just kind of really excited about that, and they've had some emulation capability for a while, but this is native running. Like they're using a containering process that basically gives the Android apps equal access to the hardware, and the developers won't have to do anything special. If it runs on Android, it will run on Chrome.
I like that. That makes things a lot easier. What are you drinking?
I am drinking Founders Centennial IPA.
I thought that looked like a Founder's bottle.
Yes. And what I'm most excited about, of course, and none of you will be surprised, is being able to play Ascension in my browser. That's where I want it to go.
I'm not sorry.
Yes. I will be really thrilled if that's really the only result I need out of this.
Play Ascension, feed your Ascension addiction, tomato.
Yeah. I'll get a touchscreen monitor so I can play a regular game on my PC, and then I'll have an Ascension tab over on the second monitor with a touchscreen. So I'll play Ascension via touchscreen, and then.
Honest to God, I'm surprised that you don't just have the 3 monitors plus 2 or 3 other devices, each playing 6 games simultaneously.
Yeah.
Not saying, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
And then I go old school, walk into the closet and pull out the box.
Well, Level Up carries the entire set, and one of these days I'm going to spend the money on it. The problem is I can never get anybody to play it with me. I always have to play against the damn computer.
Or you can play Solitaire when you get the box. That's the game.
She's got you there.
That's what I do.
Cool. Love it.
Yeah.
Well then, Didact.
What?
Talk to us.
No way. No. So, a couple weeks ago I talked about Air Console. I think I figured out a way for us to work it on Hangouts. So.
Rock and roll.
Because if you dual monitor it and have it open in another instance, I'm pretty sure we can make it work. Anyways, outside of that, it's a double XP weekend at Battleborn.
It is.
It is. So from now until Wednesday morning, double XP in Battleborn.
Interesting 4 or 5 day weekend.
Yeah, 4 or 5 day weekend, and then Gearbox announced the next Battleborn to come out. The next character is set to be released early on the 24th for Season Pass and beta players. Day one, or people who have picked it up since then, will be able to pick it up on the 31st.
Gotcha.
So we get a whole weekend to play with the new Alani character. Support class, she's one of the Eldred characters. She's the first of the next 5 to come out. So, and she's totally free.
And do they use wow. Do they do like a monthly release of characters, or is it?
So this is the first character since release.
Right now, it was only a couple weeks ago. So.
Yep. So we don't know what their exact release schedule is, but every time I log into Battleborn, they're like, "Hey, we're coming out with more free content, more free content, more free content," which is kind of nice. What they also said they're going to be releasing something called hero keys. So any heroes that you do not own, you'll be able to use a key to unlock a character.
Much like Borderlands.
Yep.
With the golden keys.
With the golden keys. But the kicker to that is if at any time you fulfill the challenges to unlock that character that you unlocked with the key, that key is refunded to you, and you can use it for another character.
I like it.
Yep. And then
That's
with
nice.
each new character release, you'll get a hero key with that.
Very cool.
Yep, so you don't have to necessarily wait to level 40 to unlock Galt, which is currently the hardest character to get, just because he's command rank 40. And I would suspect after this weekend, a lot of people should have him unlocked, or close to.
I would imagine that in Double XP weekend usually draws people in for the 16-hour sprint. I'm surprised that maybe you were going to talk about this, but I'm asking anyway. Are you going to pick up the new Destiny expansion?
Was it Rise of Iron?
Yeah, Rise of Iron.
I might, maybe. I don't know. I'll have to read up on it. I dropped off the board with Destiny in the last few weeks, or last few months, I should say. Taken King came out last October.
Yep.
And they really hadn't added anything until April. And the April update really didn't add a whole lot.
Yeah, it was after you finally take out the Taken King, do the raid quest. It was like,
there's
nothing.
Let's play the same 18 missions over again. Let's take all the year 1 missions that you played, as strikes. We're gonna take those completely out of the game.
That doesn't make any sense.
Right. So the variety of maps and content that they had at the beginning was gone. I mean, they introduced a lot of the late year 1 weapons back into the game, but guns like Thorn and Gallahorn are still out of the game for the foreseeable future.
Gotcha. Huh.
That was fun, but kind of ended up being a little disappointing.
I mean, I was big into it when it first came out. Like, that was my main game for a long time. And it just seems like Activision, like, it's not Bungie's fault, it's Activision's fault that this game fell flat.
It is.
Yeah, well, it requires so much damn grinding. Like, you guys powered me through all the way up to level 40, but then it was like, oh yeah, we can't do the Taken King yet because Red's got to get his light level up, and the only way to do that is to just grind and grind and grind and grind. And so it's like...
Right, and that's the thing, like with Borderlands, with, a lot of other games where there is a so-called grind, you can replay it, and there's tons of replayability in a lot of other games. Destiny, for some god-awful reason, doesn't have that. And
that's so weird.
It's so weird. Primarily, I blame Activision. From everything that I've read and everything that I've heard, Activision absolutely gutted Destiny as a game. Like, the original game that we were supposed to get on release 2 years ago was up to Taken King. Like, start of game to Taken King was what we were supposed to get originally.
Well,
and
yeah,
then Activision went, let's make these DLCs and only release, a third of the game at the start.
because money.
Because money and fuck Activision. Even though they're right here in town, Eden Prairie, fuck Activision. I can see you.
Right out your damn window.
Mhm.
That means that they can see you. So you
Well, then they can see me flipping them off.
Yeah, flipping the bird as you do. That's God, so dumb. And the stupid thing is, I think the leadership at Activision isn't stupid, and because some of the other stuff that they do is really good. So this behavior is kind of weird to me.
And really, to me, it feels like the Blizzard portion of Activision. Like, if you think of Activision as a giant pyramid, there's Bungie Activision, there's Treyarch Activision, there's Blizzard Activision.
Right.
And they all go up in this giant cone. Well, this giant cone at the top is going, all right, Call of Duty's not directly competing with Destiny, except for on the PvP standpoint.
Right.
The main competitor to this is WoW.
Right.
And we're going to try and make this game like WoW, and that's not working.
Right. Which there was a it's gonna bug me. There's an interview, and it's not Bobby Kotick that I'm thinking of, but that doesn't surprise me. It's the other guy who's part of is that who it is? Howard Marks. Anyway, I'm going off track here, but there was a dude who was he the head of Activision, or who was he now? Now it's gonna drive me absolutely insane. Where is it? What's his name? I'm gonna find this. Just give me a second. Seriously, it's driving me nuts. Anyway, I will find this. Put this in later. But anyway, what else is going on?
That's all really I have.
Okay.
I may be getting Overwatch. A friend of mine already had a copy pre-ordered, and he won the Taco Bell contest. All he wants is a headset, so I might be getting Battleborn.
Heck yeah.
Sorry, not Battleborn, Overwatch.
Yeah.
Well, on the subject of Battleborn Dead Acts, you said the double XP weekend goes until Wednesday, right?
Yep, Wednesday morning.
Wednesday morning. What's the entry cost for Battleborn?
$60.
Kind of flirting with the idea of getting on board, maybe.
There is a digital deluxe edition as well.
For Mr. I don't like paper and hard copies.
Yep.
You guys are right here in my heart.
Well, and I know how much you love Borderlands and how much you dig Gearbox's stuff. So, I mean...
Well, I'm just trying to decide how far you are ahead of me. I mean, Wolfbot and I have been tag teaming the Handsome Collection, and thanks to the XP shift, I'll probably catch up to her, and we can probably...
If you pick up Battleborn today and play with me this weekend, there's no... you being at level 1 and me being at level 15 makes no difference. There's no power balancing that needs to go on. That's just how far you are in the game with your lore, with just how long you've played the game. So it has no bearing on how much damage you do, how much hits you take, because each time you play, your level starts at 0, and you go up from there. So every time you start a new game, you start at 1, go to 10. Every story mission start at 1, go to 10. And I can absolutely play story missions all day long because they're 40 minutes long and amazing.
And it's Gearbox writing, which is...
It's Gearbox writing, so there's shit that happens that's just absolutely hilarious.
And there's so many. How many lines per actor were there like recorded per character?
At least 500 lines per character. And then each mission has at least 5 different dialogues, depending on who's in the mission, what's going on, things like that.
Alright, well, maybe we'll get some extra streaming going on this weekend. We got stuff going on Saturday, I don't know about Sunday. Monday, Tuesday, I don't have a whole lot going on, so...
Yeah, Monday, Tuesday, I mean, I'm doing my stream after Tritus on Monday. Tuesday, I plan on streaming. Tonight, I plan on streaming after Ash gets done with hers.
Oh.
So,
Saturday, outside of Saturday, I think, yeah, he's going to be streaming constant.
Which is crazy. It is a streaming sprint.
hey, double XP, I gotta play.
Heck yeah. I'm
Yeah,
down.
you can't stop him. Can't stop,
Right.
won't stop.
Can't stop, won't stop, I am the hype.
He is the hype. It was Howard Marks is who I was thinking of. He was the one of the founders of Activision. He's doing some really cool like entrepreneurial stuff, and some companies did a company called Star Engine, which is really good for building up startups. Anyway, I'm sorry. It was bugging the
Oh,
crap
I
out of me.
remember you showing me that one.
Right, that video, and that's
Yeah.
why it made me think of that, and then come back and anyway. So because just like thinking of like what that guy's doing versus like some of those decisions that Activision's making now, it just seems kind of weird. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. Okay, rock and roll.
What do you got, Bergie?
Oh, I got a couple things to talk about. Let's talk about a couple of things. First, it is Google I/O. That's a thing that's going on. It's right, meow.
Is that a
Yeah.
Google.io or Google I/O is just the
Google I/O.
I/O? Okay.
Oh.
Yeah, so Google I/O is their kind of annual conference. They all they do a lot of major product releases. It's like like the E3 for Google. I don't know. It's a good comparison,
Yeah.
but
It's Google unzipping their pants and letting
Yeah.
it
Waving it
yeah, it's
around.
like, hi. Look what we have this year. It's really cool. Check it out. Yeah, so they have some pretty interesting stuff coming out. I have a list here, a top 10 list of some of the biggest announcements they have, but I'll just only go through a couple of them. Daydream is Google's VR platform of the future. So now they are playing around with a mobile virtual reality platform. They're building it on top of Android N. It's not going to compete with like Oculus Rift or anything, but it's going to be powerful, I suppose. They're saying cardboard, and it's basically Google's big VR push, which is kind of interesting. And then they're sort of making a headset for VR. So it's kind of like, so they're going to take that application and then they're going to do kind of like an Oculus Rift kind of a headset. Kind of like those, what is it, Samsung that has that?
Yeah, Samsung's got a VR headset right now.
Right.
HTC has a full VR console out.
Gotcha. Okay.
Oculus Rift, and then I actually have a cardboard.
Really? I didn't know that.
He does.
Uh-huh. I have a cardboard. I just need to make a head mount for it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, bring that around. I want to check that out.
Yeah.
And then they're also showcasing a new messaging app with a resident chatbot, which is interesting. It's called Allo, or Allo. I don't know.
Hello.
Hello. I assume that's how it's going to speak to us anyway. And they are releasing a FaceTime competitor called Duo. So they want to wave things at the Apple.
Well, and I'm not completely certain how I feel like. I mean, Hangouts is essentially FaceTime.
Right.
But
I mean, how many ways are they going to try to get around the same thing, right?
yeah.
But Google being Google.
And I mean, they say they're not going to compete with Oculus, but what they mean to say is we're not going to compete with Oculus yet.
Right. We're going to design 8 products that are going to be around Oculus.
And then absorb Oculus.
Right. And then they're going to come together like a Megazord and
Google wants to play everywhere, and and no one should believe them when they say they don't.
Right. Yeah, they're so
This
full
is
of
our
crap when they say
playground
they
now.
don't. Right. So, next, there was a very interesting secret DNA meeting that happened a couple weeks ago. I don't know if you guys heard about this, being that it was secret, but allegedly a bunch of scientists and professionals and a bunch of other cats got together at Harvard and decided they were going to talk about the next stage of the mapping of the human genome, which is constructing the human genome. So essentially, we're talking about building a human. So the reason it was a secret meeting is because they did not allow any outside people to be involved. Like, there was only a very select group. It was like 150 people. It's a very select group, and they did not allow any outside press or anything else. And it was solely on the concept of not only what could happen, like what they could do as far as like how they would be able to actually build it, but also how long it would take, and what are some of the repercussions of even doing that, like some of the ethical discussions. It's getting a lot of flack because of the secrecy of it, because they didn't involve any outside sources, because and they're saying because they didn't want any interference, because they're having the talks and they're being ethically conscious and all that, but still, it seems a little suspect.
Well, I mean, we're talking about, possibly making androids.
Yeah, pretty much, right?
Cylons.
Yeah.
But I mean, I can understand why if they openly have that out there, there's going to be a lot of bad press. Like,
I
Fox
agree.
is going to be up their ass about it, and it's going to be a shit show. They're going to be protested by every fucking...
If we can't talk about bathrooms without a protest, trying to build a human, oh lordy.
No, we're having protests about building a human, remember? You can't, You
can't play God.
Or,
you
can't play God, or, choose not to be a parent. God forbid you live in one of those southern states. Our condolences from the north.
No, but I totally get it. I mean, I'm not like I have no qualms with them having this discussion because of that very thing, right?
Yeah,
I mean, this is such a huge and deep subject. It should be discussed. What scientists should be discussed first, whether it's even worth discussing more, right? To actually have a chance to let's have the most intelligent people in the room. Let's have a conversation before we involve the rest of the world, because as soon as we do, it's just gonna balloon like just out of control so fast you wouldn't even be able to do anything with it.
Heck, remember when cloning Dolly the sheep was like the worst thing in the universe?
Oh yeah, everybody just had a friggin' heart attack over that.
Damn sheep. I haven't heard about that in forever.
Right, and I mean, all I thought was, hey, more lamb chops.
That was in our weekly reader.
That's right.
Yeah, old school.
Anyway, it was a cool it was an interesting thing that happened. I want to hear more whatever comes out of that. But I mean, there's a lot of really, really good things that let's just outside the cloning discussion for a second. I mean, there's a lot of really cool things that we can get out of being able to construct human genome. I mean, there's a lot of genetic things that we could get rid of. A lot of those weird little genetic diseases. I mean, building organs, more not organ cloning necessarily, but actually building artificial organs and all that kind of stuff. And they wouldn't really even be artificial. I mean, you could then you could craft the perfect organ for a person. Like, you could cater to that, so you don't have that. I'm forgetting whatever the term is, but when you do an organ transplant, the body can sometimes reject it. That's why they have to have such a close match.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, imagine a world where you go to the hospital and they just grow you a new gallbladder.
Well, you generally benefited from having that removed, right?
Yep.
You didn't like
totally benefit
until it was
we're
gone.
We're gonna totally grow you a new appendix.
Hey man, my colon's been really lonely ever since the gallbladder left.
So I just looked up because I hadn't thought about Weekly Reader in years. Weekly Reader died in 2012.
Oh really?
Yep.
Huh.
Womp womp.
Womp womp.
Started in 1928, died in 2012. Now it's part of Scholastic News because it's Scholastic company. But
That does not surprise me. Okay, the last thing I have before just wrapping up and well, two little teeny things. I came across an interesting story. This isn't news by any means. It was a couple of years ago. What apparently, now imagine all the ways you can die in space, right? I mean, the whole lack of oxygen thing. Let's just imagine you're even in a spacesuit, right? I mean, there's still a bunch of crap that can go wrong. You're outside a spacesuit. I mean, that's kind of bad for your body. From the cold to the
photon
lack of air,
torpedoes,
right? So, a couple
TIE
years
fighters,
ago, what?
TIE fighters.
TIE fighters, mini asteroids, the Force. Anyway, so
Cylons.
Cylons. A couple of years ago, yeah, Cylons shut off your space shuttle without you knowing, and then you're SOL, right? So a couple of years ago, the astronaut was out on an EVA and hanging out doing his thing. An hour in, all of a sudden, his spacesuit starts to fill up with water. Water just starts to come from nowhere, seemingly, right? It just starts to fill up his visor. You could feel water, kind of moving around him, and start to increase and increase. And finally gets to a point where he can't see. He can't even he can barely breathe. Luckily makes his way back. They call him back. They realize that this is a kind of emergency. They call him back. He is able to make his way by memory because he can't see. And it's one of those situations where you can't just with an EVA. Your instinct is to just water's filling up. I better get back now. I mean, it's the thing where you have to be able to make your way back to the airlock. You have to do pressurization, all this other stuff. So you don't just immediately drop everything and run. You have to know. You have to know, I guess, essentially, whether you really, really need to go back or not early. And there may have been some. Stuff happened a little bit too quickly for where he might realize how much of an emergency it was until it was dang near too late, which is anyway, you can argue that back and forth. But so he gets back to the airlock and they pull the helmet off. He's barely at a point where he can breathe, and there's just water coming out of his helmet. And come to find out, the guy in a spacesuit, you're wearing this kind of I forget what the fabric is, but this kind of like a bodysuit, right? And yeah, it might be it, and it's liquid cooled. So imagine the same thing like having a liquid cooled computer case, for example. Your body, if your body's got a lot of heat in there, and there can be a lot of heat generated outside, depending on however that works. They use a liquid cooling system to keep the body cool, and then of course they have the full astronaut suit outside that. Well, apparently that sprung a leak, and leaked all around the inside, and water just kept coming and coming and coming. So apparently, among all the other myriad things that you can encounter in space, you can drown in space.
Lovely, you can now drown in space.
You can now drown. Luckily, the guy made it back. He's safe and sound. He's all cool. But lesson learned, right? I mean, that's nuts. But I thought that was an interesting story.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Who would want to be that person that drowned in space? Yeah, I'm that guy, the guy that drowned in space.
Right. I mean, there's so many other crazy things that could happen, but you drown in a vacuum.
Yep.
You came from the wet planet, and you drowned in space. Good job.
Right. I mean, you came from the place where there isn't water, and you've managed to find some. That's
Good job.
Excellent.
Yeah, it's not obviously not in any way his fault. Some faulty I don't know. They never did release it. Yeah, they didn't seem to release, or at least I didn't dig that far to the point where they released a who done it sort of thing. But shit happens. Anyway, make sure your stuff is sealed, I guess. Cool. I have an announcement.
Oh.
It's after 5 long years. I finally did it.
You got laid?
No, I bought a new phone.
Oh.
Yay!
Yes, I finally upgraded. I thought I would build that up. there's nobody's gonna care. But
Well,
Dylan, I know that you're gonna be very surprised by that.
for those of you that don't know Tritus very well, he has the same. He had the original Moto droid for like almost a decade, so
Totally worth it. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Eventually it broke, so I
never
fixed it.
update my iPad. And
Hey man, I update it sometimes.
are you on OS 9 yet?
Yes.
Sure.
Would you like me to go get it? We can talk about it after.
I'm buying it until Sunday. When I get there on Sunday, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, but no, it's I had to buy a new phone. It had to be done. So I was at Nexo Verizon yesterday, and yep, my phone was having a heart attack when I was outside of it. So I figured I'd go inside, and there it is. Anyway, so what else is going on? We are talking about filming another video in the near future. Next week we're going to fully shoot a pilot. We've got a bunch of crazy, weird little ideas flying back and forth. I want to talk to you guys on Sunday about doing a quick comedy short. So that'll be a thing. Other than that, streaming has gone very well. I don't know about you guys, but I've been feeling really good about it.
Yeah.
I got my bot squared away last night.
Yeah.
He's got his bot squared away.
Your
Everybody.
children, Dylan.
But yeah, other than that, everything's been good. We've been having a great time. We've got a few new articles coming out in the next few weeks, so look forward to those. Otherwise, yeah, I think that's everything.
Yeah.
Perfect. Otherwise, Wolfpaw will be streaming in 13 minutes, so feel free to jump on twitch.tv, whack Wolfpaw23. Other than that,
Also
have a good
hosted on twitch.tv/Rivet City Limited.
yes.
LTD?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's Limited.
It's limited. The Twitter is LTD.
That's
Yes,
right.
yes.
That's right. You can also check us out, twitter.com, whack Rivet City Ltd, facebook.com, whack Rivet City Limited.
Or you can use a shiny new plugin on the website.
Ha! RivetCityLimited.com. Check us out there. Alright, guys. See you next week.
Woo!